Bitcoin has just seen a major correction towards the downside, but on today's update video, I want to be talking about the most important levels of support which are currently exactly getting retested, and I want to talk about a major shift in momentum right now here. Do we need to worry about this massive bearish divergence which we are currently creating? I'm exactly going to be talking about this, the major inflows on the spot Ethereum ETF, and that massive increasement on the Bitcoin dominance. I will be discussing it all on today's update video to exactly tell you what currently is going on here. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes. It will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. And first of all, we can see that Bitcoin, ever since it hit $108,000, came down quite massively and actually is right now retesting the previous level of resistance, which here also flipped into support and now also is flipping in clear support right now, or it is retesting this different upward sloping support line, which previously around clearly provided support and currently is once again getting retested again as well. So two very important levels of support met each other, and Bitcoin is currently exactly finding support on that level. If we, however, break below this level, I am expecting we are going to be breaking down a little bit lower. But if you're just going to be looking at the bigger perspective of it all here, I already pointed out that 102.5k level is of course major support for Bitcoin, because previously around it provided major resistance, like you can clearly see on this chart right here. I do believe that Bitcoin is likely, if it's going to be touching that level, bounce quite heavily from that zone as well. So definitely a level of interest in my opinion. You can also approach it like this, the chart, major previous resistance, and if we potentially then retest that level, we could be heading and looking for a new potential move towards the upside. Ultimately, Bitcoin is still trading in an upward sloping consolidation phase. I draw this pattern yesterday as well here, and I said that maybe we're on the top side of the pattern. If we're looking at Bitcoin today, it was clearly the top side of the pattern where we were trading in, and the moment where we are going to be breaking outside of this pattern is going to be the confirmation we are going to be looking for more exponential moves in the market right then. So if you're going to compare Q4 2024, which we're currently sitting in, to Q4 of 2023, we can see that we are creating a very similar pattern like we did last year. And yeah, after we of course had those three touch points, we consolidated and then we moved actually up higher. So maybe something similar is going to be playing out here. But what I do really want to be pointing out here is that while Bitcoin has been absolutely crushing it, we are creating some very interesting price action here on the daily time frame, because on the daily time frame we are clearly right now creating higher highs, but on those RSIs we are creating lower highs. So what we're currently seeing basically on the RSI chart is that yeah, Bitcoin is creating higher highs, but our momentum is actually losing momentum, which is of course creating lower highs. So basically what we're seeing right now is a major bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Historically, this is definitely a signal which, if I see it, I want to go out of the market, and we're likely going to be seeing a big reversal. And honestly, the only thing that is really different maybe this time around here is of course those major inflows on the spot Bitcoin ETF. Because yesterday, for example, BlackRock bought over $740 million worth of Bitcoin. So consistently, they are buying billions of dollars every single week. And this week already alone, they have bought over $1.1 billion US, since it's only 2 days in of the week here. So yeah, we're still seeing massive buys coming in here, which really makes it for me very interesting on how this cycle is really going to be playing out here. But also, if I'm just right now going to be looking at the Ethereum ETF, I can start to see a major shift occur over there as well, because previously around, like you can see on this chart right here, and if I go to the page of the Ethereum ETF as well, we can see major cumulative flows starting to come in towards Ethereum. You can see it already on this chart right here. There is definitely a clear trend shift coming right now to Ethereum, with major buys coming in as well here. Because previously around, we saw only small buys coming in, but now we're starting to see big buys coming in towards Ethereum. This ultimately is going to be quite bullish for the longer term perspective. And you have to understand, there is right now a possibility for these institutions and these large investors to actually FOMO not only into Bitcoin, but also into Ethereum. And since Ethereum has been quite an underperformer, since the Bitcoin dominance is right now at such a turning point, it could very well mean a great opportunity in the market right now here for the upcoming 2 to 3 months ahead of ourselves. So definitely an interesting signal that currently is playing out here, which I wanted to be discussing. And that is also definitely a trade I am personally taking right now here. So we can also look if we're going to compare that previous upward sloping resist line here, we saw that we eventually broke above it and flipped it into support, and whenever we broke below it again, that was the point the bear market of course started. Now we're also once again trading against such an important level of resistance. Also, I want to be pointing out that currently we are in extreme greed here. So there are a lot of signals right now really pointing towards me and thinking, okay, we're at a quite overvalued zone in the market, and we could stay in an overvalued zone in the market for quite some time here. But it is definitely some time to think that, of course, it is not always smart to be all in on crypto and to always, if you're in a significant profit like I am, to take some profits off the table. I mean, I have already cashed out a significant amount of my portfolio. I'm not fully out of the market yet here, not even by an inch. I've cashed out like about 15 to 20% right now here, but I will be continue to do so in the upcoming periods in the market as well here. Then I quickly want to be pointing out here is that currently in just only 11 months time here, the spot Bitcoin ETF have seen more inflows than the gold ETF, which is insane if you ask me here. So Bitcoin is doing extraordinary in terms of performance. They're outperforming the gold ETFs here. So that is very crazy if you would ask me here. Then also to put things in comparison, like last cycle, we had plus 58k in terms of gains in about 14 months in the entire bull run, and now we are seeing plus 58k in just a matter of 6 months here. So to put things in perspective, Bitcoin is very, very strong right now here. And we are in a different part of the cycle, so we should be also acting differently. If you approach Bitcoin from a weekly perspective, it looks still very similar towards 2020. And yeah, we're right now about to be hitting Christmas. And usually around Christmas, it is a very interesting time to be actually buying or trading Bitcoin, since during Christmas, Bitcoin usually tends to be performing very well here. But I do think that especially altcoins are going to be performing strongly during Christmas, because altcoins are usually getting bought by like families, retail investors. That is something to really play out here, and I think the search term Bitcoin is definitely going to increase during Christmas. So very interesting. And guys, if you want to be trading Bitcoin or any altcoins ahead of Christmas, don't forget to check out Blofin in the link description of today's video, because Blofin is an exchange where you can right now trade, and you can trade the most amount of altcoins over there here. So if you're interested in trading Bitcoin or any altcoins with the best liquidity and with the best pairs, check out Blofin in the link description of today's video. You can currently get a deposit bonus up to $100,000, which is quite insane here. So check it out in the link description of today's video. Further on, I want to be going some deeper into altcoins. And of course, in the beginning of the video, I talked already about the Ethereum ETFs, and that those are, of course, a very big catalyst for the upcoming Ethereum or / altcoin season. We're right now seeing that the Bitcoin dominance is ever so slightly increasing, actually hitting right now this very important level of resistance. And we have seen this happening every single time in the previous cycles. Like before we had that major altcoin season towards the downside, we first see some struggles and we first see some corrections. And that is exactly what's playing out right now as well here. But you have to understand that if we're going to compare the all-time high from the previous cycle with Bitcoin to Ethereum, it has always been that Ethereum is about a quarter behind here. And that is where potentially these institutions are right now also preparing for, if you're looking at those Ethereum ETF flows here. So very interesting in my opinion. Most signals are basically consolidating and telling us that we are in this consolidation phase before the major altcoin season tends to be starting. And whenever that happens, of course, we could be looking for some insane gains on the market right now here. So I am very excited for that here. Ethereum as well, on the monthly perspective, is creating a major pattern. And whenever we break above the monthly resistance, I do think we're going to be heading much higher than we're currently already sitting. Then also, if you're just looking at the bigger things of it all for the Bitcoin trend here on the 4-hourly time frame, you can just see that we are actually trading very strongly in an uptrend here. We are creating higher lows consistently in a very strong pace here, together with higher highs. So we're trading in a very strong pace towards the upside. And honestly, like, you can say whatever you want here, but this, what I'm currently seeing here, looks a lot like an exponential structure. And whenever Bitcoin does go very exponential, that is of course where the most amount of gains are going to get realized. So are you not seeing what we're currently creating? We're creating an exponential structure. I mean, there are some worry signs, of course, of a bearish divergence, but you have to understand we're trading in a bull market. There is a significant amount of buys still coming in from not only BlackRock, but also a lot of other investors. And with the chart right now indicating we're about to be going exponential, it could be very well a very interesting play right now here. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I am in for the long game. I've been buying Bitcoin all the way back at 7,000 US dollars back in 2016. I've been around for a very long time right now here, and honestly, in the end of the day, if you don't like trading, the best thing to do here is just buy and hodl for, let's say, the next 10 to 20 years, because then you're probably, of course, I'm not a financial advisor, or you will never be guaranteed for any investors in the market, but almost be guaranteed of a return here if you hold for a longer term of time. And I also said to my parents, for example, if you want to be buying Bitcoin and don't have an headache of like trading it, just buy it, lock it away for the next 20 years, and then look at it. So everyone has to have their own strategy, but I am actively trading since I am so deeply connected in the market. But anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. If you learned something from it, don't forget to stop that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.